the gap right there, right? That gap when you feel the fear, but you haven't acted yet. That gap is where your awareness lies. Right? That gap is where real transformation can happen for you. Is the gap between when you feel the tension, right? The anxiety or the tension, you feel your stuff coming up, whatever your stuff is, but you haven't made a choice yet what you're going to do about it. Instead of, like, sometimes you might be somebody that acts right away, that you get angry or you push people away or you close down, right? But if you can get a little bit of space there and take a deep breath, if you can start to work with consciousness in that gap and widen it, right? Start to make it a little bigger. Take a few more breaths. Right? Take a moment and say, what would I choose to do here instead of what have I always done? Right? Instead of relying on habit, right? Because if we're in the habit and we're afraid, it's typically the habit of fear. And that space of fearlessness asks you to move into fear with consciousness. Not just to move into fear, because then there you are alone and afraid. You kind of have, I like to say, you have to take the mother with you. You have to take who you believe in, what you believe in, whether it's God the Mother, God the Father, the Christ, the Buddha, the Ashen One, the sky. It doesn't matter, to me anyway, it doesn't matter what you believe in, but it matters how you act. It matters who you are in the world. Right? It matters if you believe in kindness, if you believe in moving consciousness into yourself through your meditation, your yoga, your pranayama, but out beyond yourself in the way you are in the world. And so that gap is a treasure and a gem, right? That gap when you feel sometimes at your worst, right? Because something's coming up, right? Some part of yourself that has not yet been healed or resolved has been poked at by some action in the world, by something somebody else did or said, right? And all of a sudden there you are, you can feel yourself getting a little shaky and getting a little nervous, and you're going to remember me then. You're going to go, aha, this is what that Swami was talking about. How can I be conscious now? Because the habit there is to go to our most unconscious. Is it not? You know, it's kind of easy to be conscious when we feel really good. Right, when we feel great about ourselves, when we feel magnanimous, we feel like, you know, I'm in love, I love everybody, you know, I'm living in this space of love, and then all of a sudden somebody does something really rude to you, right? That's when you go, aha. Because this is when it's easier to default to unconscious behavior, is it not? Right, to start to go, oh, you know, if one person's being a jerk, maybe it would be better if two of us are. It makes no sense, right? Now, if I'm a jerk back, then there's two jerks in the room. That's going to work really well, right? That's going to make it better. Somehow that's going to be the better thing to do. Right? What is that? Why do we think that way? Is that not the most amazing thing? Right? That somehow we're wired to think, if you're a jerk to me, I'm going to out-jerk you. Right? And now it's going to be a showdown, and we're going to see who can actually be the bigger jerk. And what happens if it's you? You typically feel better about yourself, don't you? Because you were the bigger jerk. Ha ha ha. Bad. Right? No. Right? You want to use those moments, and it's totally human, right? To kind of push back. When somebody pushes on you, to take that and push it back. Right? But as conscious people, right, again, you get asked, you get required to say, how can I be the bigger being in this? Right? How can I bring consciousness into those moments of conflict? Right? Because we're sitting here talking about peace. Right? That this is your theme for the day, is how to create more peace. Right? Yes, you want to chant, you want to serve in your community, you want to do all these good things, but on a personal level, your place of growth so many times is when you start to feel like your lower self. Right? Because that's when it's up. That's when that part of yourself is available to change. Right? It's vibrating right there, dying to say the jerk thing. Right back to the other person, just dying to, right there on your lips. So easy, so tempting. Right? But to go, okay, what if I take a breath here? Right? What if I practice the art of hesitation? What if I try to choose consciousness in this moment? Okay? That's where you start to really grow and change. To me, that is your moment to practice yoga. Right? Yoga means union. It means wholeness. And for you to be whole means that more times than not, you choose consciousness over unconscious behavior.